This is Lego Motion Control. I built a 4x4 off-road-ish vehicle platform that I can attach this top module here to, which has a pivoting holder which can tilt. This is the Uoplay AIBird gimbal. It's a 3-axis gimbal. I use this controller here. There is a controller that I do have for the gimbal, but if I set it on the second mode, it gives me most of the tilt and pan functions that I need. So if I wanted to do like a pan or walkthrough of the garden, I can do, for instance, with this little dial control here, I can click a couple times and it will set, there's 7 speed settings, but I can do slow pans. And while doing that, I can also change, well, I have to be aligned with it, but I can change the tilt angle of the actual gimbal, so it balances in the center point of the gimbal so that it can actually handle the weight. Otherwise the Lego structure couldn't. But I can move the handle, I can stop that. I can also drive it, so I can do low pans within the garden, so I can do close-up shots without having to get really low. And so there's forward. Oops, I picked up a pine needle there. So that's just this dial here. I've got a couple different speed settings. I can bring it back to me a lot faster than that if I want. This is a lot of Basenji photography will be done with this as well. What else? This is that platform, and then yeah, so this in this particular setting I do have 4-wheel steering. You can see the tires move there, so you can drive it in circles and get cool pan around shots. The gimbal itself is in one of the several modes. It has 3 following modes. This one, the angle of the handle is relative to the pitch or the tilt of the camera. So this is the green mode. The red mode would keep the camera parallel, but just lift and lower it, so you can do a slow pan up rather than a tilt. And then this controller just allows you to control it as if your hand were the thing holding the controller and drive it around. But it's a pretty large build. It took 2 of, I think it's 93, 98, I think is the original Lego set that it was. It took 2 sets of the springs from that, some extra large motors, and a lot of equipment to make it handle this kind of weight, because Lego is not really made for that kind of thing. This gimbal is fairly heavy. I mean, it's light, but in the world of Lego, it's very heavy. And you can see there, I'll put it on the pan on the top there. Oop, I can get it too. For some reason it won't. And we turn. And a little bit of the motion is still a little jerkier than I wished it was. But all in all, it does the job for driving through the garden and harassing the dogs and getting cute videos of them and sprouting seeds coming up out of the garden. So all in all, I'd say, I mean, it's Lego. It's only going to do so much. But some things I would advise is that using the infrared sensor, and that's what I was just experiencing, this panning function wasn't working. The infrared sensor, when you're in direct sunlight, has a hard time making it to the device because obviously infrared has some interference during daylight, which also includes infrared light in it. So that's a side note also, if you're building one yourself, know that when you're out in nice sunlight, which is where you're probably going to want to catch most of your video, this will obviously take in a little bit of interference because of the daylight itself. But yeah, you can do some pretty neat motion control if you want to make some little micro short videos of anthills and seeds or gardens or dogs or anything at that tiny little height.